Hello, everyone, and welcome to Answer the Call. Are the dynamic events getting old? Uh, for me, I will just lay it out there. I am, and as many of you have seen, the previous like two Answer the Calls ago was, me saying that I needed a little break from SC and as well as specifically feeling the need to do a podcast if I didn't feel like the topic was really worth it. I'm hearing so many people talking about them not really being interested in trying these events and doing these events right now. We know a wipe is coming, 318, and kind of the drought that we've been in over the last little while here. And just 317 overall, unfortunately, not being very stable, great. It's had its hiccups through the last however many months we've had it. I think it was April, something like that, was when the original 317 dropped, and now we're talking about 317.4 coming up really soon. So I'm not interested in particular in this month's dynamic events. That's all right. That has nothing to do with the events being boring or anything like that to me personally. It's just I've expelled my energy for jumping into Star Citizen and playing 317. Am I or will I be reinvigorated when 318 drops? Yeah, there's a whole bunch of new things to check out. Of course I will, right? But I'm uninterested in making imaginary money that means nothing in a video game that is going to wipe your progress over and over and over again, right? I have literally no interest in that at the moment. Okay? That is my personal feelings. I'm more interested in how you guys feel about the last year and the dynamic events and the way they utilize them. Basically, the entire year, not a lot of heavy lifting happened this year in terms of moving Star Citizen forward from a gameplay standpoint, but a ton of heavy lifting, like world record heavy lifting, is being moved from on the technical side of things, which has created the drought that we're in now, right? So there's obviously that the 3.17.4, the fact that we have a .4, that's related to PES 318. I feel like that's a separate issue. For me, the kind of issue that I have with the dynamic events is, well, they're not dynamic. We're going to get our first one in 318, which is basically a miniature version of Jumptown that the player triggers at Security Post Correa, an actual dynamic event, right? Kind of cool. But part of it is that. Part of it is there's no meat behind anything in the game right now. What would have created the meat? Well, you build muscle, you build meat by like creating the foundations of the game. Things like reputation, things like loot, stuff like that, right? The really foundational stuff. I think after, and I know that one of the major developer of Siege is in the chat, but I think once Jumptown dropped, I don't necessarily think we needed to continue on to Siege, although Siege is obviously its own extremely unique template for another type of dynamic event. So maybe that was kind of the stopping point, is like, all right, well, we need an FPS version of this. And okay. We also saw, because we watched some old things, if you go back and watch a Tony Z talk from May 2021, he does a drop down of all the dynamic events that they had in their Quasar system. One of them was like called Gold Rush, where there was a bunch of mineable ore or something like that, and it was worth more. It would be my guess. So you could choose gold, platinum, all sorts of different things. So there's a few more that are still back in their pocket, in their back pocket that they can use. I want to try to make this monologue as short as possible, but I also am, we have just 2 callers that are on the line, so maybe if we can get a few more, that would be great. So I'm trying to, put my thoughts out there so people can, come in with some arguments or conversation about what I'm saying. I felt like that they probably could have stopped post Jumptown, but Siege is also very special. So maybe now post Siege and start focusing on those things like the reputation system, like creating actual valuable loot. Hey, I did not like the idea of the Vandal mask being in the Halloween event, but don't try and tell me that you didn't go out there and try and get it because it had some value to you, right? I know I did, and I know a lot of you guys went out there and got it. So that's kind of what I'm talking about, is creating special, unique little items that maybe have some value at these, you can build on these events and make them more unique, more special, all that stuff, right? So that's kind of how I feel about that, right? Is there's a few things that could be done throughout the year that are probably less overwhelming amounts of work, like a Siege of Orison probably was, right? I felt like, we heard about it for a while, and then it was basically still very much in development when we were playing it, and so on. So, yeah, I am going to go ahead and bring on our first caller here. I'm going to keep it quite low and bring the volume up. So if they start out a little quiet, I apologize. And I also realized that I don't think I'm ready for him in terms of, let me check real quick, in terms of his name. So let me write that one in real quick. But yeah, so and he is a regular, has been on the podcast quite a bit. Oh no. Over the last little bit. I am so nervous that when I come back here, everything's going to be broken, but hopefully not. Here we go. Cross your fingers, guys. All right, it worked. Woo! All right, I'm going to bring in Johnny. Johnny, can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Excellent. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm going to lower you a little bit. You're, for some reason, at 200% for me. I don't know
might have
why.
been last time I was quiet, probably.
Yeah, so I got you proper now. So, dynamic events. I know, just from experience with you, the thing you seek is player interaction.
Yeah,
Ninetales Lockdown, not the best for that, but
agree.
Jumptown is fantastic for that. So I'm assuming you're excited about one, but not about the other. But I don't want to ruin your call, so go ahead. Let me know what you think.
Well, so I'm with you on I find them boring now, definitely. But that's because I've ground them out so many times. First interaction with all of them, I really liked all of them. I really like the flow. I like the storytelling in it. Ninetales, 100% my least favorite of them all. I think it's probably the most interesting to run that one on the red side. So when you see the people running the blockade and stuff, that's kind of neat tech. It's not super fun though, right? Siege was really cool. I did really like Siege for the storytelling in it. It was fantastic. The flow of it was a little rough, and I agree it was a little too big for what the server can handle now. So really great effort. But
out of all the events, which one has the most potential? By far, Siege.
Oh, hell yeah. It needs some breaking up of that linear flow. It's the same problem I have with Jumptown. It's too linear. They're all too linear of a flow. Jumptown,
Jumptown, everyone gets in line and grabs the boxes, right? Very linear.
And then, all you do there is stand there and do the boxes. I'd like to see some inputs with it, right? So we bring something there, we put it in, and then it kicks off, and then we get that dynamic mission that kicks off, right? And I like that idea. And I'm okay with I know there's a disconnect between Tony calling it dynamic when he means input and output variables will be dynamic, i.e. the price of the maze in Jumptown will be dynamic based on the location that it's at. So if it's at Lyria, you get the highest amount of value if you go all the way back to the red, right? That's kind of what he means, where we see it as different. We're like, hey, I want something to kick off because I'm doing actions in this world and make it feel like I'm really part of it. I am really looking forward to that.
He means that it's dynamically triggered, but there's also other dynamism in the whole system.
Yeah, sorry,
right? Like
it's ambiguous, I should say.
Yeah, like I think that, like I said it earlier, I think people are really obsessed with the word dynamic when it comes to this. It's specifically why I didn't even put it in the title, because I knew people were going to make comments about it, and it's just like annoying to see. They use their internal terms. I don't think if you have dynamic in front of the word events, it's this huge marketing tactic that's going to bring in thousands of people to play the game the way we have done, or the way we've seen them, maybe show certain trailers or things. There's way more malicious things that CIG has done than call it dynamic events. I'm sorry. It's just kind of silly to obsess about that, in my opinion.
I agree.
But the idea of it dynamically triggering is also something that, a year ago was supposed to be the...
I thought so too.
The possibility,
I 100% thought we were getting the ability to trigger Jumptown ourselves. That's what I thought when they first talking about it too, that we would take the actions and then it would kick it off, not just that it would be a scheduled thing, which makes sense. I get it at this stage and stuff, but I don't know, to steer it, I guess, a little bit back towards it. Like, I really like the dynamic events. I am bored of them, though. I'm in similar spot as you. Jumptown is the one that's repeatable for me, but that's because I'm in an org and we use it as a training platform for like what we're doing in our org battles, right? Okay. And that's how we stay engaged. We've made our own theaters of war, essentially. So we have very simple set of rules, and it's really fun. Katie's first video from it dropped. It was a really great one. This is our second season of doing it. But that's what's keeping me in the game right now. It's really nothing in the game per se is really drawing me in anymore because I've done it all too many times. So I am bored with the dynamic events, even though I love them. Like, I do love them.
The Xeno was my favorite. Things that are supposed to be repeatable are not repeatable.
Yeah.
In many ways, they're too... Like, why can't we do Xenothreat anymore? You can't tell the same story over and over. It doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, it's unfortunate because Xeno's my favorite because they nailed it with the cooperative gameplay in that one. If they can just blend in a little bit of red play into it, that would be their premier dynamic event in my opinion. It would encapsulate all the elements. The red side works in it already. Like, it's not really an issue having red players there. It's actually quite fun. I find Xenos better when they show up. I just wish they could be incorporated in and get a reward out of it and all that type of stuff. But I think they did a really great job with Xeno. Siege is great from a narrative side. Ninetales needs work for sure. I don't really get it. Right? There's not a real huge reason to engage other than, hey, I want to make a bunch of money off of medical supplies right at the beginning.
Were you watching the like old sitcom reviews of when they talked about dynamic events like a few minutes ago with me?
No, I wasn't. Sorry, I just found the stream.
So we tried to go back and hear a lot of what they said prior, and for the most part, it's it was mostly what we got. But they talked about Ninetales. So it was supposed to be a PvE event. It was never supposed to be a PvP event, but they couldn't get the number of ships in to make it possible, so they just band-aided it. So it was doomed from the start, essentially.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Overall, though,
it makes sense why it's the worst one.
It has been keeping me engaged. Like, so without these events running, I probably would have wandered off more and not be as engaged in the game. It does keep me engaged throughout this drought year, and I do appreciate them putting the time and effort to do. Even these 3 or 4, whatever it is, right? Like, I do appreciate that effort, and I don't want to make them feel like, oh, this was worthless effort. It's just I've done it too many times now, and I'm looking for some new content, and I know the content drought's going to be low for a while yet still. So we're doing it ourselves, right? Like, that's kind of always been my attitude.
I also agree. I don't think it's a worthless effort. It's now the effort needs to be placed elsewhere to make them more... like the play repeatable and the meaning to be behind them. The meaning of the entire year and a half, 2 years of dynamic events was to try them out, now the meaning behind them needs to create you wanting to do them, right? For XYZ reasons, whatever they could be. You have to bring that meaning
Repeatable,
in. Yeah, and it doesn't
repeatable
always have to
reasons,
be
right? To keep me
money and
engaged.
yeah.
Like Jumptown, I think has the biggest potential for that one. If they add
Yeah.
in, like, let's say PES gives us the ability to go out there and gather resources and things not screw up. We'll just green box that and say PES is going to solve our issue of losing stuff or whatever.
Sure.
And so that they can then add in a layer of go out and collect the resources to kick this thing off, right? Go and spend a day with your team going out there and mining or gathering whatever little, those little turd things around or whatever. Like, those little placeables that we never really do anything with.
Happy puppies.
Yeah, buddy. Sorry, that's my son.
That's all good.
Yeah. My life has been pretty crazy lately too, but I really think there's a lot of potential there in getting us engaged on the long term and giving us an actual focus and thing to do and lean into our potential professions, right? So the logistic guys are out there doing it. And then my team decides, hey, okay, now's the time and place we're going to kick Jumptown off for us. Because one, it's the best time for us to do it. We're going to do it Saturday night. We have all the resources we need to do this, and we're going to initiate it. And let's say it takes half an hour or 45 minutes. We go to a location, we hack it, we start putting the things in, and then everyone on the server gets notified, hey, there's a Jumptown going. Go steal their stuff, and then a big battle fight, right? We get our stuff, or we lose the stuff, and it's amazing. And I would like to see that dynamic level of it. I think JT is the first one that should go full dynamic. Let us control the inputs. Let us control the outputs that way. Right?
You know what else I'm bored of? We had this conversation when Jumptown dropped.
I know.
It all sounded great. We gave all the feedback in the world on all these events every single time. Then what happened? Nothing.
A lot of stuff happened, but we don't see it, right? Like I know.
Well, the feedback and the big improvements that could have happened to these events are just not on. Like they are not in the business of putting out an event and perfecting it. They're in the business of putting out an event and then putting out the next one. Works. Yeah, and that's it. That's all they're in the business.
That's it. That's all they're doing. They're just putting them out to see if they work, right? And it's annoying at this stage because we all want content. And I am there with you now, too. Like, I love the game. I'm looking forward to the changes to the flight model. I'm slowing things down. I'm looking forward to that ever-expanding interactions with players. Like, watching DayZ, right? And you and Lemon playing DayZ was so much fun. I don't spoil it. I haven't finished the end of the VOD. I'm watching the rest of it today. I loved it, though, man, because DayZ... you can just go roam around and meet people and interact. You can't really do that in Star Citizen right now.
Everything I pick up in DayZ has a purpose and a use. Everything.
Yeah, I took a clip of you.
And there's things that I skip because I'm not using it. I'm not going to build a base. But I had, I needed food. I need this. Like, as bad of as the survival mechanics may be of, like, how often you need to eat, how much you need to eat, I don't like that stuff. But it still creates this sense of, well, what do we do next? Oh, well, we're running out of this. We need to try this, let's try going over here, and there was always something. And this game just doesn't provide that at all. I think it could and will, but it's just not in the cards. And I don't think it will be for a very long time.
Yeah, no, it won't be for a long time. It was really good. It was funny. I took a clip of you when you were playing because you found it. I think a can of tuna, ate it, and Lemon was like, "Yeah, it feels good." And you're like, "Oh, God damn, it does!" Right? Like you felt rewarded just from finding that can of tuna. That's what made DayZ great, 100%. And we don't have that in Star Citizen right now, and I think we can. It's really big, so they need to figure out a way to funnel us together in like kind of an organic-ish way, which is once again, I think a lot of the resource gathering will help with that when we have base building or stuff like dynamic events that will kick off if you have X, Y, and Z. So people will out there looking for X, Y, and Z, right? And we have some interactions. The player count increases really help that. I do get a lot more interactions now, like just rando ones. Yeah. Because we have almost 100. 3 times the amount of players. Yep. So that was nice. I did not expect that. Like I did not expect the player cap to make the servers feel a lot busier and more lively instead of so empty. So that was nice. But overall, I'm kind of with you. I need a little break now and then.
I thought you would have been in here like, I love it, still get that rush, and all. I expected you to come in and actually say the opposite. I was
too far down the funnel now.
Yeah, I mean, it just comes down to this. If we were on 319 right now, as we should have been, given the original Chris Roberts letter kind of scheduling. We probably would have been talking about 3.9 at this time, 3.19.
Yeah.
I think it would have been a different story because you would have had other layers layered on top of, like, all right, I've had this content that they put in that I was checking out, and you know what? Today I'm gonna go do Jumptown. Oh, Ninetales Lockdown say, maybe I'm not really into that event. I don't need to do it. But it would have been an aside where this is it, and that's the difference. So
Yeah.
I think that actually was the big difference. But yeah,
I'm with you on that. I think they've done a really good job, though, so I don't want to shit on them and stuff like that. 'Cause I
no,
honestly
yeah,
do think they've done a fantastic job. They're getting stuff done. They're moving along. It's been, to loop back to the DayZ one, right? They did the same thing halfway through. They rebooted everything, and it takes forever, but the end goal is worth it. And DayZ is super great and super fun now, but it was not during the early time period. And that's kind of where we are right now. We're at I can really see the fun potential in this and how I can spend my time in this game over the next 10 years.
yeah.
And I can't, right? Like with
But
what
I
I'm doing
can't-
with the org I'm in.
Yeah, but I can too, but I can't see it in the short term.
I'm with you on that.
It's
I've
really
been playing
hard
Terra
right now.
Invicta. Terra
Dude,
Invicta is insanely good.
I got a key from the publisher, and I'm planning on playing it this week.
Oh, you should stream it too, man. It's a little
I will,
slow to stream,
yeah.
I'd say, actually. It does really good YouTube. What's his face there? Potato McWhiskey is one I've been watching, and another guy, an Aussie guy. But my God, it's the best 4X I've ever played.
Okay.
It's so well done.
You know I like
It's
4Xs,
real good.
so I'm going to give it a try.
Yeah, it replaced Stellaris for me, so I burned a bunch of hours on
Wow.
that. And then,
okay, because
yeah,
Stellaris is like my jam. All right.
it's so big and so small. It's just a solar system, but it's so big and it's really neat. I really like how they blended all the different parts of it together. Anyway, I'm not talking about that too much, but that's what I've been doing on the side there a little bit.
Nice.
And staying in with the org and stuff like that, and staying invested and building the team up, and we continue our skills development. I think that's the biggest thing for most people. Like the most active people I see in Star Citizen still are the people that are invested in the skills development.
Yeah,
Once
and
you
I just
get it,
don't
you
care.
don't want to get rusty. Yeah, that's something I've always been surprised with you, actually. I thought you would get really into the big ship flying meta, but it's not there yet. Like, to be
It's
fair.
not there. Yeah,
You
what do I do?
only
Just
use
sit in
the
a turret and left click on my mouse? Like, I don't know. It's not.
Yeah, like
It'll get there, but it's not something that excites me at the moment.
I don't know. I can still see you as a ship captain, right? Piloting that thing.
I am not a
Commanding that.
leader. I am not a good leader.
Disagree.
Yeah, I'm
Disagree.
No.
Hard disagree. That attitude makes you a good leader. Anyway, we're gonna leave it there. I think you're a very good leader.
All right, Johnny.
Have a great day, man.
You too,
Cheers.
buddy. Thanks for calling.
Thanks.
Bye. Our next caller is the derpiest turtle. I'm gonna dynamically write your name in.
Nice.
So, another person who has an org. How do you feel about dynamic events? I would imagine you're still drawn to them.
Yeah. To me, I don't think they're getting old, but because like they're some of the most exciting content in the game. That's not really saying much though, but
Yeah.
it still holds. But it's something that brings me to the game more than anything else because rather than before, like me playing the game was grinding for ships that I liked, and because it's like the first time, and that was something that was exciting for me. Like the ships are the main thing for me. And now that I have them, I'm like, what do I do now?
Yeah.
There's not really purpose, like you've been saying, and it's true. And the events are like an opportunity, which I like. But for me, not yet. They're not getting old. I've probably done about 40 jump towns, like not all successful, and you definitely can't do it solo. Good luck with that.
You can, but your goals would be smaller.
Yeah, like boarding someone's ship or something.
Yeah.
But I just want to see more events like that. But I want something that doesn't take too long out of development time because personally, I'd rather see them work on features than dynamic events.
Like, think about just the simplest thing as like this long-term reputation idea that they've had. You go to Jumptown, and if the comm array is up, there's real consequence to what you do. Therefore, you need to take the comm array down. and somebody needs to stay there and make sure it stays down. Otherwise, everything that you do has a real consequence.
Yeah, that's something that happens pretty often from my experience is that there's always going to be like one sniper that's waiting outside the
Yep.
commrie, and then everyone down there is doing stuff. But yeah,
Yep.
that's like an improvement that I'm hoping for is the reputation to have an effect on it. But I want to see what happens after the dynamic events conclude. Like what happens when we fail Siege of Orison and stuff like that, or jump
Oh,
down.
the consequences.
Yeah, that's
Mm.
something that intrigues me.
It's weird though, because maybe that would be like a post PES thing or something. Because
Yeah.
the idea of us not all being on the same server, like, can you have consequences per server? Not this moment, because we don't know what servers we're on, but once you could choose your server, like US1 or US2 or whatever, right? The way it likely, we won't have a server list to choose, but you know what I mean, like getting back into your server where all your
Yeah.
PES changes happen.
Yeah. You know I'm waiting for that matchmaking so
Yeah,
bad.
yeah. It's
It's
well,
the biggest impact on the game right now,
I
in my
almost hope
opinion.
that 318 takes so long that they have matchmaking ready by the time it comes out, so it actually impacts us.
3.17.20, here we come.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, Siege of Orison is probably my favorite because it's Orison.
Hmm.
But Ninetales Lockdown would be my second, and then Jump Down's my last. Because sometimes I do want to play solo, and the experience is limited.
Yeah. I feel like the experience will be limited with Siege too if the AI
The-
continue to improve.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, the way Siege is designed is that you could start out solo, but find people along the way.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
that's a little bit because it's an FPS scenario, right? You're all funneled into really one little car, where everywhere else is so big you can't necessarily have that experience. I think that was actually the more special thing about Siege is, well, you may go with like a group of 2 or 3, but then there's another group of 2 or 3, and you just, hey, what's up, man? Oh, cool. You want to roll together? All right, cool. Party up, whatever, right? There's more opportunity for that.
Yeah, me and my org have even grouped up with other orgs. It's really fun.
Exactly. Yeah.
The mix.
Yeah. I don't know. It's been a tough year, but I just don't
Yeah,
think this
definitely.
is it anymore. And I feel like they've almost taken it to the point where they've played it out so much that it's going to even hurt these events in the long term where they could have been really special. So now, like, what additional work do you have to do to breathe life back into them?
Yeah,
Is now kind of the question. And
it's a
that's where like
unique
Johnny
organs
went
and
off
stuff. It's
about
good.
all the stuff they would need to do.
Yeah.
But then, do they action this feedback?
Yeah,
They don't.
I think Squadron takes a lot from that, but we'll see. They're gonna just go to Squadron Chapter 2 right after.
Yeah, all the
I
dynamic
don't know.
events are in Squadron, guys. All the teams working on the multiplayer dynamic events are working on Squadron. It's very, yeah. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't want to give CIG any event ideas. I'll post it on Spectrum if I feel like it. But yeah,
I'm
just focus on the content, the features.
the foundation. Keep building
Yeah,
the foundation. Doesn't matter
that's
if the
straight
game
up.
is boring, is how I feel. You have to make it so the game is better in the long run, and I don't feel like that's ever been the case of late. So
Playable.
yeah,
We'll see with Gen 12 and the improvements on our side, and maybe that'll be easier. But yeah, it's really on their side for server stability and all that. Because maybe don't need to go back to previous server button like this soon if they fix the servers. But yeah, that's a copium dream.
yeah. All right. I mean, it sounds like you've gotten through most of
Yeah,
your thoughts. Is there
that's
anything else
about
you
it
wanted
here.
to add, or
No, just keep up the good content, Mike. It's always fun being around. Salt
appreciate it?
Gang. All right,
Later, dude. I'll talk to you.
later.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Our next caller is Index Manon. Index, hello.
Ew.
Let me go ahead and dynamically write your name on the screen as well.
Yes, so basically I have a bit different path between different events. In my opinion, this is just the best.
Siege of Orson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also the one they spend most of the time with. So it's
Okay.
And when it comes to, I was write a bit of notes. When it comes to lockdown, it's more like what I do mostly is money printing, going medical supplies.
Yeah.
So yes.
That's because there's really very little I guess opposition when it comes to that one, right? It's kind of tough.
Yeah. I mean, like I'm almost never getting like killed by someone after like doing like medical supplies. They have tried, but it's kind of hard.
It is. Yeah, and I think now that you, even though like most likely if you're moving medical supplies, you're moving them with a very large ship. Now that you get all what are they called? Hangar bays instead of landing pads.
Yeah.
Now you don't even run the risk of like your ship just sitting out there and being blown up.
Yeah. I mean, you can always just like park it outside and on a hangar and just get impounded. It's probably the safest way.
Yes, the classic cargo hauler and miner exploit.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to like jump time, I would say like this free scenario, friendly jump time where you just cargo like you stand in line and pick up boxes. The one is like just one printing.
The conga line.
Then you have also the option with like these small groups of players that tends to be like one group wipes the other players, respawns, and now it takes over. Then the new group comes and wipes the other players, and it's no real mono printing, like no real like profit, but it's just for fun, you can say.
Yes, for sure. They're there for the PvP and
and
understandably so. It's one of the few places you get kind of decently scaled fights.
And the only issue is like if it's big or taking over Jumptown, and like like I usually play with like solo, like a few friends. It's kind of hard to like do anything. I mean, you can fuck with them a bit. You can like drop a NATO bomb and like stall them, or you can drop a ballista and just blow up some ships, but you're never gonna take it over.
Yeah,
that's a bit. Like Jumptown for solo small group is hard.
It is.
Like,
what would you consider a solo small group? Like 5 people or?
4 people.
Okay.
One thing I don't know if you actually know about, because Lockdown, like it has a schedule, and it usually never starts at the schedule. It's usually like 2 hours later. Is that intended, or why is it always late?
So it's not late. On schedule, there'll be an announcement, and that's the beginning of the event for their like internal tools. This is like the shit I can't stand about Star Citizen, is everything is based off of their game dev bullshit that players don't understand. So their internal thing is, okay, the event actually starts when we make the announcement that, oh, something bad is happening over here, or something bad is happening. We'll let you know more. So if you're not on the server when that announcement is made, you never knew that they hit the button. Then it's like an hour or 45 minutes or whatever until the actual event that you're looking forward to playing triggers. So everybody builds their schedule around this, and then it never happens. It's so stupid. That drives me insane, to be honest, when they do that stuff.
Especially when you have limited times, when like if you work, if you have school, or like you're just gonna go to bed, and it takes like for example, it takes like 2 hours to off my schedule, and you're gonna do this, and it doesn't start.
I think the logic behind it though is also the fact that I don't know if they don't think that like if they think we're stupid or something. I would imagine if you do Ninetales Lockdown, that you probably already have a number of ships completely filled with medical supplies, just waiting for the event to start days before it even began, right?
Yeah.
Most people aren't buying them at that moment, would be my guess.
Yeah, like for me, I like if I don't have that. The biggest ship I have is a NATO when it comes to cargo, and I usually just buy it at the time the event start because I don't want to use all that prep time. It's just
Okay. I would
Oh,
imagine most people prep prior to it.
Yeah.
So it like the prep time in between is where you buy the med supplies, basically, I think was their intention. It's just not real, like gamers don't think that way.
Yeah, the thing is like before the event starts, there's a limited supplies on how many medical supplies. But
Yeah.
when the event starts, it's almost unlimited. So I usually just go when this event starts because before that,
Exactly. It's easier to get them during the event, but there's somebody in chat that goes, I'm literally stocking up 3 C2 ships right now while watching this raffle, right? Like, I mean, it's the gamer way, dude.
Yeah. Like, I don't like usually I don't use a lot of part because there's a lot of just waiting at the panel and just waiting for to restock.
Yeah.
Sure, you can watch some movies, something with when you do it, but still it's kind of boring.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. Anybody who says, "Man, this game's really fun to just watch a movie in the background while I play it," means the game's not fun.
Yeah,
That's I don't. That's my personal feelings. Is if I'm playing a game, I really want to be involved in the game, and if it's just mindless and you're watching a movie in the background, it's the game is lacking then.
Yeah, like similar things. Like for example, if I do like bounty hunting with Spectator, for example, I just watch a podcast or something at the time because it's kind of just go to target, lock target, repeat.
Yep.
And
fire missile.
Yeah.
It's not even, you don't even have to aim your guns, man. You just fire your torpedo.
Yeah.
Restock, repeat. I know what you're doing. You're printing money.
Yeah. I mean, what I most have fun with is just doing stupid shit. Like I've done a lot of lately by having ballista inside a C280 and do some PvP bounties with it. It's kind of fun.
Okay.
Where you like, and I like to surprise those people, like when they see like an 80 suddenly nuking people, and then don't know how.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think we're starting to get a bit off topic, but
sorry.
I mean, are you actively playing the events this time around, or
I usually.
How long have you been playing? Are you more of a new backer or been around for a while?
I've backed the game for a year, but I've played a lot of replays before that, so I tried out. Before I didn't really like before I was a bit unsure, especially like before there was like when it wipes every patch and all.
Yeah.
I don't really like that. Now it's not really about every patch, but it's less often.
Okay. All right. Well, Index, it sounds like we're about done. Is there anything else you want to add to the convo?
No. Thank you for having me. And keep up the stream.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
all right,
you too, mate.
Talk to you soon.
Yep.
Bye now. All right, and now Virgil. Virgil is usually the first caller. Today, you're one of the last.
I'd let them go through first.
Damn, what a nice guy.
I saw like you didn't have that many when I joined, and I was like, oh, I'll help you out.
Oh, thanks, man. I was expecting to see you in Discord this weekend, and I didn't get a chance to. I popped in and looked every time, and you weren't there. I was like, what the heck?
Yeah, I broke my headset this weekend. So yeah, it's been annoying, but
yeah, but of all people, I'm actually really interested. It seems like your org is somewhat interested in JT, but
yeah, definitely. Like,
okay.
I mean, like I can't get them to play now because of like the state of PvP.
Yeah.
But like JT's our bread and butter really.
Yeah.
But Yeah, like I'm kind of in the same boat as you, right? With these events, it's like, how many more times can I play it? And what are they really trying to be? Like what's the
That's such a
purpose of
good question.
these?
Yeah, what are they trying to be? You can
Yeah,
kind of see the template, but it's not. It like
but like,
I
is
said
it just to
earlier.
like, are we just gonna keep revisiting the storyline? Like, you know what
That's
I
what I
mean? Like,
mean. Is
is
it's too
Orison just gonna get
handcrafted.
sieged every second weekend?
Exactly. It's too handcrafted. It's too specific to be
Yeah,
a thing that happens all the time.
yeah, yeah, exactly. It's not like, like I think the Nine Tails invasion it's like, there's less script to it, so it's more believable.
Hmm.
And then like it can do multiple stations, so that's like, I like that aspect of it. I think it can do that, right?
I guess,
Um,
but even then, you're like, oh, again, okay.
yeah, but like Xenothreat for me, it's just like it's a snooze fest. Like
Well, that's why
I
they haven't
like,
done it. Yeah, I think that's
yeah,
why they had to put it down.
yeah, and it's like I just wonder, what's the like, what are these supposed to do in the long term? Like I've done like world events in other games, and I'm
Yeah.
sure you have too.
Oh yeah.
They're never around, year long. Like it usually exists for maybe a month and then they're gone.
All right, I'm gonna
Forever.
take a quick huff of copium.
Go. Dude, we
Okay.
always get the copium out when it's you and me.
Yeah, it's really bad. I just want to point out that this guy has been in a call with me talking about how great Siege of Orison was. Like, oh my guys, oh they're loving it. This is the best. All this stuff. So, oh yeah, when we get together, it gets really bad. My guess here is that this is just straight up tools. So it's tools for them to be able to do big storyline arcs and then these little Nine Tails Lockdown type things and Jumptown. So like Nine Tails Lockdown and Jumptown are the little like in star system events, and then your Xenothreat and Siege are more of your uh world story events that are, your classic MMO stuff.
Yeah. But like I don't like, how many times is Stanton gonna get invaded by these guys? You know what I mean? Like I
Would it?
find the repetitive storyline to be
Of
a little
course.
exhausting.
But I'll ask you this question: is we're not, it would. I'm not going to ask a question. I guess I'll respond to it with the statement: is if we didn't have only Stanton, we wouldn't have had Stanton be the only thing that got attacked.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. If it just like rotated around or something, it'd feel a lot better.
If we had a video game, it would be
Yeah.
different.
Or even if it wasn't like, the same three stages as it is, like the same
Yeah.
three phases that you go through with Xeno and stuff like that. But
Yeah. How do
no,
you
like
feel about like having given feedback to them for all these years and you're still playing the same event essentially? I feel like they've done quite a bit to try to make Ninetales better, but that was really it.
yeah, well they talked about some stuff, like they're gonna make Xenothreat a faction and you can like play on their side for Xeno. You
Mhm.
remember that?
I remember hearing it.
Yeah, whether it's coming or not, we don't know. I think
Yep.
that was the guy you mentioned might not be there anymore. But we
We haven't seen him, so
yeah,
it's hard
I don't
to,
know either. And he was missions, right? And we've seen a lot of missions guys, but
Yeah.
not him, I don't think. But either way, but yeah, like I think that's the big question I've got coming out of this, right? Is like what are they trying to do?
Mhm.
Like what compels people to go back a second and a third time? Because once you've done it once, you've done it. You don't need to keep doing it. Like it's
I mean, dude,
like
this is why.
realistically,
Go ahead.
I'd
I'm
like
sorry.
to see how many people are going to Xenothreat like a fourth, a fifth, a sixth time.
I
And
would be one of those guys. But the thing is this is why in my I need a break answer the call video is what am I going to say? There's got to be a purpose to doing it. There's got to be
yes,
reasons behind it. Money sinks.
exactly.
Why do I need money? Why would I go? Why would
Yep.
I take the risk for that reward? Right?
Yep.
And it's like, dude, you keep putting out these events like they mean something. They don't mean cock. They mean caca.
Yeah.
They don't mean shit because
Yeah.
there's no meaning behind any of the video game whatsoever. So it's
I was thinking like, I was like, hold on, copium. Okay, I'm going into game
Yeah.
developer mode. But I was thinking like, what it could be is like maybe the purpose of it, because we don't know if it's gonna be like a rare loot that comes off these things, you know, or whatever.
Mhm.
But maybe like, you know, the way to earn reputation to work back into Stanton after, you know, getting all your bad rep in Pyro is to go be a do-gooder at the Xeno event, right? Working for the CDF or whatever. And
Yeah.
then, you know, that's you kind of working off your bad reputations or something. But
Yep.
yeah, it's like where's the progression in it, you know? Like
Yeah.
maybe it's whole stripping the capital ship, the javelin that's there, you know? Like maybe that's worth a lot, you know, and everyone wants to, you know, compete for that. You know,
I mean,
don't
I'm
know,
high.
but
I'm high on copium when it comes to Ashes after this week. Think
Yeah.
of like they've talked about
fuck it,
these
let's
like
pivot to Ashes,
Fuck it.
Dragons.
yeah, answer the Ashes, dude. The the caravan system, right? That's fucking Jumptown
Mhm.
essentially. In
Yeah.
a lot of ways, and that's going to happen over and over and over again. And why do you need to do it? They gave all the reasons of why you would want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Granted,
think that the
that
new-
game exists less than Star Citizen does, but at least there's like some
There's the
meat on the
repetitive
bones.
reasoning for it, right? Yeah, because that's how you move your stuff around. You know, you have to transport your stuff with that. So
Yeah, but they
there's-
gave reasons of why you need to transfer your stuff around.
Yeah.
It's like they have
Yep.
their bases covered already, and I feel like Star Citizen just feels clueless. Like not that
And
the
if there
devs
was-
are clueless, it's just we don't know the clues.
Yeah, it's like if it was. I feel like they dropped these for the theme park ride, and then you've
Yep.
done the ride, and it's just like, okay, like I don't want to do it, but like I want to be compelled to go to these things, you know, like and you know, there's so many ways you could do it, you know, where
Yeah.
you tie reputation into it, or like, you know, if there was just like, you know, a good shield, you know, ship shields that were physicalized that you could like loot in crates in Siege, like I'd be all
Mhm.
over it, you know,
Yeah.
like, or you know, just compelling reasons to do this, to get excited about it, rather than just relying on the experience. Because the Xeno threat, when it first came out, I thought it was the coolest thing ever. You know, like the cloud tech, dodging the asteroids, the big hulking capital ships, like it was awesome. But you know, I can't get a fourth or a fifth time out of it.
No.
You know, it's but I felt like if it was compelling to go there and there was progression behind it, it would be worth it. So, yeah, for me, man, the struggle's the reasoning, you know, and I just don't know why they keep developing these. You know, like is it them just learning how to do it? You know, is it putting together templates or something? But
I think it's
know,
the
like-
template answer, but it still pisses me off so much that they're like these were the guys who worked on the money trading system. These are the guys who
Mhm.
worked on reputation. These are the guys who work on missions. These are the guys who work on like all the things that could have made these events better. They stopped doing that and made the events before they could have made the events actually replayable and good.
yeah, and
That's
the
what
problem
like
is too is
blows
like
my mind is like the order of things make no fucking sense to me.
the day-to-day experience of like playing those loops too, like, you know, the missions and the content that those guys had, like that team has specifically created, it's abysmal in comparison to the events too. Like
Yeah.
it's the day-to-day gameplay that needs to be worked on, I think.
Exactly.
And
right?
I'm glad
How-
that they're doing the SBK thing, but I hope that that's compelling to do as well, right? Like these, like God, that's got to be worth going to, guys. Because if you're just basing that off the experience, it's going to be dead in 2 weeks. So
Yep. Yeah, and what makes it worth it? Nothing
Yeah.
that exists in the game currently.
what's meta about going there? You know, what's the meta in doing it? So
Yep.
But yeah, no, I lack reasoning. I lack purpose of it. And like, you know, the cherry on top is the idea that however many development hours, and those events are impressive. They're not bad. They were very good at the beginning. Like they've withered with time, but they were very impressive at the beginning. But the most enjoyable fan favorite event right now is what, Mike? It's fucking Jumptown.
Hell yeah.
Like,
course.
it's this tiny little
It's
fucking
the
building.
simplest thing.
Yeah, and like I don't know. I'm not a game developer, right? But I would imagine that was the easiest one to make.
Yeah.
I'd imagine so.
Bro, it was just a fucking marker.
Yeah,
Go here.
right? And it's just like, and why did that get the least attention when everyone goes bonkers for it? And I think what we should do, before you and me wrap this up, is like why is Jumptown better than the others? And my answer to this, and I'll ask you this too. My answer to this is like, I think it's because it comes down to like interpretation. It's like how you decide to use that event.
Yeah, it's the most replayable because it's the least on rails.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's not a tunnel, that you just make your way through the beginning and middle and end. It's how you decide to play it, right? Like, your first caller mentioned that they do training over there and org exercises over there. I know so many orgs that do that, I remember you guys were stealing ships. There's people that, just like to do FPS stuff and hide in the snow. You can get tanks out. Like, yeah, it's all up to interpretation. It's very open-ended.
Yeah. I am specifically not playing Jumptown right now, not because I still don't find it fun. I'm just not playing it right now because I'm just tired of the 317. Like, I totally think if 318 was here and I was busy checking out all the new little things that they added, that I would probably take some time out and try Jumptown as well. But because I'm just kind of bored in general, I can't build up the energy to give it a try this time around. That's all.
And it always comes down to like, there's no fucking reason to do anything.
No.
Like, and
I'm sick. I'm so fucking sick of talking about that. I mean, that was the I need a break conversation. I'm so fucking tired of having that conversation and have none of the needle move in that direction. Zero of the needle move in that direction. It's fucking disgusting.
And I worry that like, and I worry that like we're right where they want us. I don't want to get like dark with this, but
I'm not.
Like,
I mean, they're pushing me away more and more every day as far as I'm concerned. But
I just wonder like at what point we're gonna get the reason, the progression, the work, the grind to do.
Yeah.
Fucking, I'm gonna get lit up in the comments about how people don't want to ever have to grind in this game, but
but those people are just they'll find their fun in the game. Like that's what people need to understand, I think, about what this game could be is you can go do whatever you want to do.
Yep.
And I could go do whatever I want to do. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't have what you enjoy. I don't understand why you're saying I can't have what I enjoy. Again, it's a personal choice. You could choose to do it or not. Period.
Yep. And that's one of the good things this game's got it going for it, right? It's like it's not going to alienate anyone.
Exactly.
Whatever you want to do, you're going to get to do it in your corner.
Yeah, you go stay in your little corner, and I'm going to go grind in Pyro or wherever.
Mm-hmm.
Leave me the fuck alone and my what I find fun.
But yeah, to wrap it up, I'd love if there was just a reason to do these, and then I think that would spring some life into it, some progression behind it, and it can't be like
just money.
It can't be that CDF, and it can't be that CDF armor set, and that's it. Like fuck, come on,
bro, that was the worst. I was so disappointed.
There's gonna be some real usefulness to this, like. It's got to be meta.
It can't just be cosmetic. It can't just be cosmetic.
Yeah, it has to be meta. Like, it has to be...
They really got on... Yeah, they were really starting to get on the right track. I pulled sniper rifles out of the shops, pulled big other weapons out of the shops. When are we going to start doing that with with ship components and ship weapons and And then all of a sudden, you go to Security Post Korea, and what comes up the elevator, from down in the depths when you took it over, there's something actually useful to put on your ship, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that
It's
kind of stuff.
like the God, what is it, like the derelict missions and stuff, like it's got to be compelling to do this stuff,
Yeah.
like that's what it comes down to, because like, I haven't done derelicts once, and like because I watched a stream of a guy do it, and I feel like I've got the experience of it, right? There's no reason to do it, and I wish, if there was one criticism I would give those guys, is give these things unique reasons to do it. Like going to derelicts needs to give you a specific result. Like, it's a specific progression, whether
Or the
it's, you
possibility
get the
of a
best
specific,
coolers. Yeah, you
right?
get the best coolers from the derelicts, or, the best shields are in crates at siege, and just like things like that, I think would really start making this feel like a game.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I'm not
instead,
gonna
it's
lie. The Halloween event wasn't terrible, and I mean, and it was so thrown together, and it was so honestly bad. But the meat behind it and what makes like what you did is exactly like going to a derelict and finding something special, right?
Mhm.
Why weren't they at
Yeah.
derelicts? Why were they at like just random just lawful locations? I have no idea, but
Mhm.
that's like what you're looking for there. I go do a derelict, I have a chance
Yeah,
of
but
getting a
like,
vandal mask, right? Like that has
yeah, and I
some
know
meat
why
behind it.
I
But
know
it
why you liked that, but like for me, I think it needs to be meta,
no,
and by
I'm
meta I
with
mean
you.
like,
The
yeah,
the
like the best
usefulness has
mining
to be.
tools are
Yeah,
over there or something,
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah, there's got to be
but
usefulness, not just
yeah,
uh
cosmetics or
rarity.
whatever.
Yeah,
Hmm.
not just rarity. The
That's
rarity
that's me.
it has to be informed by the usefulness, but yeah.
Yep,
All right,
that's
bro.
me. That's my points. GG's.
Later, dude.
See you later. Bye.
Bye. All right, and our last caller is Sea Dizzle. What's up, dude?
Hey, what's up, man?
Not much. You're super loud. Do I have you at 200%? No, a little bit louder, but Virgil was quiet, so. All right,
Oh, okay.
you should be at good volume now.
Hi, hi, hi,
First
hi.
off, the Rangers and Avalanche game was really good, and
Yes,
I hate you
I
guys for
got,
winning.
I got pretty much several heart attacks about Avalanche games.
Yes. But what do you feel about these events? Are you playing them at all? I mean,
No, I really just wanted to call in purely with the spectator's perspective.
okay. Like, because you've been sitting
Um,
on the sidelines for a while as far as Star Citizen goes, right?
oh boy, yeah, I think I got in 2015. I stopped playing maybe 2018 at the very latest,
Yep.
maybe 2017. And ever since then, I just kind of watched, my favorite guys
Board
play every now
Gamer,
and then.
Morphologist, Captain Burks,
Detox,
Detox, right?
you,
Oh, no.
and oh no,
I don't play.
least favorite. No, you just struggle.
Yeah.
But like that's the point I was gonna try to get to is, are these events getting old? I don't know if they're really getting old. I think it's just
The
they're
entire game
never.
is.
No, it's none of these events are good to play through.
Okay.
Like
Why?
how often do you have to reset, um get back in your ship because I don't know, maybe you blew up on something, had to fly out there, maybe the event didn't trigger. Like insert Star Citizen reason infinity.
Yeah.
Like watching you guys just have to grit your teeth, reset, not have
The
fun,
hour to get back together and
fun detected,
yep.
like it's just the worst, man. Would these events be fun if you could just play through them like they're intended? Maybe. Like watching you get those masks and you couldn't just get boxes to spawn anywhere. Like it was one of the worst viewing experiences ever. Watching you just have to fucking let's try again, guys. It's
I
the
needed to get the mask
worst.
though.
I know, and that is I know that is a part of the fun, but like the way it's done, there's nothing engaging about it. It's just RNGesus. Please bless me this one time. Like I don't know.
Yeah, it would be like, and then you compare that to what it took to earn the original mask. It was just so much more engaging, so much better, and
You had to
yeah,
go out and do something, not hope something happened.
yeah. I'd still like the idea of completing missions or go like I would have loved to go through a derelict and finish the puzzle and at the end of the puzzle have an opportunity at it. But the
Or hey,
current
flex that reputation system.
yeah, maybe. Oh my god, imagine that.
Like, oh, maybe it only goes up to 3 in the fucking regular PU, but for this one event, you can go up to 12 to get this crazy unlockable. What? Like,
Yeah.
I know it's harder than that, but like, Jesus Christ, man, it's been so
Someone
long.
in chat, I don't normally read chat, but this one was really funny. No one cared who I was until I looted the mask. Now people know me. Yes. Nice one. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm just over the I'm over the whole experience at the moment. I'm just waiting for it to improve. I think the first
Like,
step to improvement is whatever 318 is going to bring some persistence, and then the thing
like
is,
I
I
don't.
always say like whatever they put in, you got to build upon it, and they just never do, and it just continues to
Yeah.
ruin the game at larger scales.
Instead of building on the thing they implemented the last patch, they introduce new stuff which breaks more stuff.
Yeah,
But like at this point, I don't really know if it's just Star Citizen fatigue,
I
and
think
I'm
that's what it
tired.
is.
Like yeah, like but like I think more of it is like I'm just tired of seeing everyone just being beaten down by it. You know, like it used to like maybe it was just back in the day because it was new. You'd watch people and they'd be having fun
Yeah, but
playing Star Citizen.
you're talking about streamers, and the only reason they were having fun is because they were watching their channels grow. Like you have the totally wrong perspective on this. Is the
But like
majority of people's perspective is exactly what yours is? Is I stopped playing in 2018 and I'm literally waiting for something to happen. Do not feel fucking bad for people like me who have put their eggs in this basket hoping that it was gonna, you know, turn into fruit and it didn't. That's all it is. You know,
I
it's
see
no
what you're
big deal.
saying.
Yeah.
But even like now when I hop back into the game, it's so foreign to me now. Like I don't even know how to get back into the game. So like it doesn't even feel like a game anymore. It feels like a this weird puzzle thing, which I know that's what it was when I started
But
because
even if
nothing
the
was
game was
ever.
good, it would be foreign, right? It would feel foreign to you.
But like I mean, shit, even getting to another system is so difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Like and that's one of the things that I figured they would have figured out how to like at least make it intuitive by now, I guess. But like just getting out of the system, the station into your ship, figuring out how to take off, get out of wherever so you can lock onto somewhere else. Like that shit is so crazy,
Yeah.
and nothing's explained.
That's like their big initiative now, apparently. We'll see.
Like just
The
from
new player
user
experience.
experience, it's so weird.
Yeah. Hopefully that delivers, but I imagine it will be lacking as well, as most things are.
But
But yeah, I don't know.
go Islanders, Kappa.
Are they good? I have just kind of followed the Rangers and watching Toronto implode. And that's been about it.
Are the Rangers going to be good?
I think they're playing good, but they're losing a lot. So we'll see.
The Avalanche are kind of losing a lot too,
Yeah.
man.
It's early. We'll see. But enough
Yeah.
hockey talk. These guys have no clue what the fuck we're talking about.
All
So, Dizzle, I'll let you go.
right, later, man.
Yeah, man. Talk to you soon.
Peace.
Bye. All right, guys. That's it with Answer the Call, Star Citizen, and NHL talk. Crazy story is for hockey fans out there. I'm not going to say who it is, but there's this little growing, it's small, but it's a growing YouTube network of a famous guy in the hockey community. It's all based around him, that are looking for people to kind of do post-game shows for every NHL team, possibly. They just started in Canada, and I'm thinking of applying for that as like a job. So I don't necessarily have to do the whole casino thing anymore, and I might do that because I've seen what they have already, and it's like, kind of crappy webcam, the messed up background with the the I'm on Zoom shit, and I was like, the quality here I could probably bring at a I could raise the bar there a little bit, and then at the same time I'm a huge hockey fan, and yeah, so I might have something to bring there. I don't know like how much of a job it really is, but it's basically streaming is essentially what's happening there. So yeah, I think it's like an easy win-win. So you're not going to see any of that stuff on my YouTube channel or whatever, but I think it's a cool, just bringing you into some things in my life that might be a cool little thing to share with you guys. Is I'm thinking about like when they do open it up to the like the actual United States teams, that I might apply for that and see what happens. So put some positive thoughts out there for me on that one. That one might be pretty cool. So just sharing with the YouTube audience a little bit on that. Other than that, guys, yeah, dynamic events. I think most people they don't sound like they're necessarily bored with the events, but they're more bored with just Star Citizen in general. And the things that need to spice up those events are a little bit further away, but yeah. And then we'll see. So thanks for watching. If you guys are watching this on Twitch and didn't catch the whole thing, it'll be up on YouTube later. For those of you guys who are watching on YouTube and ever want to participate in an Answer the Call, they're a little sporadic right now, but I'm assuming when 318 comes around and there's a bit more life in the game, they'll be, every Sunday. The goal is for them to be at 10 a.m. This week, it started at 8 a.m. because it's my mother-in-law's birthday. So we're going to go spend some time over there at her house today. So it's had to do it a little bit earlier. And yeah, you can come in and take part on twitch.tv/SaltEMike, discord.gg/SaltEMike to continue the conversation when I'm not live and not online. So thank you again for watching, guys. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next one.